in a while. I'm at WKRP in Cincinnati.
That's right. How you doing this afternoon? Hey, it's me, Ann Eller, right here with you. And we're doing a little special show here this afternoon. I thought with so much going on this afternoon that we would just say this.
What's up with that? 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 What's up with that?
Oh yeah, what's up? What's up with that? There is so much going on. I just thought maybe we would just do a what's up and what's happening here in Greenwood here today. So what do you think? Is that a good idea? I hope so. I've certainly got a lot of stuff to talk about, but this is basically just a show about what's happening today, what's happening tomorrow, this weekend. So without further ado, I think we should get started and just be talking about what's up with that. What's up with that? So this is just my new little fun format for today. And let's see, what do we got? What's up with that? Well, what's up with that? Over there in Lawrence, they are having the Demolition Derby Saturday night. Now, there's one I'd like to go to. They say it's the day you all been waiting for finally here. Saturday, September 20th. And it's going to be a really fun day. Get your cars ready, mark your calendars. Payout and other classes will be, you must be unibody front wheel drive. I mean, anybody can get in on this and just tear the crap out of your car. People just go wild having a good time with that. So they have all kinds of rules and regulations, but that is up there in Lawrence at the Demolition Derby, the Darlington of Dirt. I've unfortunately made other plans, so I'm not going to be able to go to that. But, you know, if anybody ever wants me to drive in a demolition derby, I'd really like to do that. That's on my bucket list of things to do. Hey, if you got a comment or question here this afternoon, we'll be using we'll use the legacy line, since I can't even remember what our new number is, 864-229-7984. If you got a question or a comment about what we're doing here this afternoon, let me know. 864-229-7984. That's the text line. And you can make a telephone call. Now, the new number, I got it right here, 864-332-9355. That's 864-332-9355. It will actually take your telephone call and turn it into a message. So if you'd like to do that, I'd love to hear from you on that too. So that's the new number. We're going to be doing some fun promotion stuff with that. But for today, I'm just throwing it out there. 864-332-9355. And, of course, we have the legacy number, which will be our probably forever number, 864-229-7984. So let me know what you're thinking about today. So, but that's one thing that's going on. I thought that looked like a lot of fun. This is going to be news and events as I come across them. So, Scout Motors is going to invest an additional $300 million in South Carolina. Did you know about that? That is a huge investment on top of the investment that they've already made. This was updated today. So down there, Scout Motors is investing an additional $300 million to build a supplier park at its production center site in Blythewood, South Carolina. The expansion comes with new government incentives and is expected to support about 1,000 new supplier jobs and to add to the company's existing $2 billion investment in the state. So this is huge. It says the nearly 200-acre Supplier Park will be located next to the main production center and will include more than 2.3 million square feet of manufacturing and logistics space. The just-in-time facility for sequencing parts for final assembly, the battery assembly building for high-volume battery production, the accessories building for vehicle upfitting and installation of vehicle accessories. So that is pretty great. Early agreements already represent $368 million in investment and more than 1,000 new jobs in South Carolina. So, Governor McMaster said when Scout Motors announced they were coming to South Carolina, we knew it would set off a chain reaction of investment and job creation across our state. The announcement further highlights Scout Motors' commitment to our continued prosperity and the seemingly limitless economic opportunities they're creating for our people. So how about that? How about that? That's pretty huge. Thought you might like to know about that. 1,000 new jobs. That is a lot of jobs. And I think they actually got off to a little bit of a rough start, but they certainly are moving forward now. So that is a good thing. So what else is going on up there at the Fiddle and Bow Music Hall? They said they're having a great night of picking and powerful vocals with singer-songwriter duo Brian Ashley Jones and Melanie Jean tonight at the Fiddle and Bow. So Red Door opens at 6 p.m. Show starts at 7 p.m. Tickets are just $10. 115 seats available, so it's a small venue, very, very intimate. You really feel like you are right there with the artist. It's a great place to go. You can actually get your tickets through Eventbrite, but they also will be selling them right there at the door, I'm sure. They're at 45 North Main Street, right there in Honeypath. So if you have questions, you can call the box office up till 9 o'clock tonight, 864-940-2254. That's 864-940-2254. But really great place. I can't say enough about it. It's got lots of Southern folk art on the wall that Justin up there does, and it really adds a lot to their community up there. It's only about a 20-minute drive. You know, we go, oh, Honeypath. It's only about a 20-minute drive, so go on up there. You will be glad you did. So that's another cool thing that is going on. Also going on up there in Lawrence this weekend is that's the last weekend of their Lawrence Farmers Market. Now, see, I am going wide around to give you a lot of different things to do this weekend. But it's their last market of the season. It says perfect time to get some Christmas gifts. Oh, Lord. Baked goods and the best coffee and lemonade in Lawrence. So that's Main Street, Lawrence. The city of Lawrence is where that is happening. I think it happens right there on the square. So that is September 20th, right on. That's on Saturday. They'll have whole chickens ready to go, eggs, whatever you want. They've got it up there. So if you want to take a drive and see something a little different, there you go. There's the Lawrence Farmers Market. So I just thought I would mention that for you. Also, a lot of people are starting to check out the Conisty Dam, but also the Conisty Nature Preserve. Since the dam is now finished and open, they are opening the preserve back up there, and there is lots of things to see. So the Nature Playscape on a Saturday or a Sunday. You can swing by. They have a pop-up gift shop at the Playscape, but it's more than just shopping. You can learn about the Conisty nature preserve and the playscape. Discover the cool critters and plants hanging out that day. Check out an exploration bag for free to enhance your little one's nature playscape experience. But on top of that, it's just beautiful up there. They have wooden walkways. You can walk around up there. Really would be a great way to check out that preserve up there, and that is right outside of Simpsonville, right there. So, and you can also see the dam that was prevented from busting through thanks to a lot of people, but Dane Pruitt really brought the original firing the gun, saying we got to do something up here or it could be affecting Greenwood. And because of that, Senator Billy Garrett got involved, John McCravey got involved, a lot of other people got involved. But I actually was at the first meeting that they had with Greenville and Simpsonville about this eyesore and about the potential of this dam to fall apart. And from that on, things started happening. You should know that this came in way under budget for the cost of it, and it came in so much sooner than they anticipated having that ready to go. So there's something else you might consider. You know, sometimes we think we got to go way far away. There's a lot to do right here in Greenwood, but sometimes you just want to get in the car and take a drive. So that's why I'm going to tell you about some of these things that aren't too far away. I'm going to tell you about some of the things that are right here in Greenwood. 864-229-7984. That's 864-229-7984. That is the legacy number. If you want to make a call and have it turned into a text so you don't have to try to text me, it's 864-332-9355. You can also text on that line. That's going to be the new hotline for WCRS. So I hope you will check that out, write that down, put that in your memory banks to be able to know when you want to let me know what's going on or want to make a comment about something, that you can do that. So how about write that down, 864-332-9355. So there you go. That's a little bit about something that I thought you might like to know about. So what we're going to talk about? We're going to be talking about this morning. We had Pamela, Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evett on with us. That was great talking to her. I think the thing that I enjoyed about it was we really talked about some of the issues facing our state. Like one of the issues that we talked about, do we need a hate crime law in the state of South Carolina or not? You know, this is something that is happening all across our state. Cities and municipalities are putting in hate crime ordinances, and so this would be something that is something to be considered. You really need to go back and listen to or watch the video from this morning that I did with her on that. We also talked about how much my senators and my House of Representatives people are going to say, well, that's not really fair. Well, yeah, it is something to be discussed. We discussed about how much money we are actually paying our representatives to do a job, and I went back and compared it against what Texas pays its representatives. And you know, one of the things that Texas does that's a little bit different is they meet every other year. They meet every other year. And because they meet every other year, it definitely is considered it's a citizens' legislature, they say. They don't have the dollars invested in it. People most of the time, I guess, can work out their time with how much time they actually put into something. So, this is something that I think is worth talking about. I talked about it with the lieutenant governor. She, of course, is open, she said, but like any good person, she said she'd want to know more about how Texas does it. For example, Texas has, what do they have? Texas legislators, the base salary $7,200 per year. The legislature is in session to cover expenses like lodging and meals. Because of the low base pay, Texas has what's often called a citizen legislature because the people have other jobs. Now, in Texas, they meet once every 2 years, regular session 140 days, January to late May. They can have special sessions, but they are limited to 30 days at a special session, so they can't stay in session forever. In South Carolina, we meet every year, an annual session, typically January through mid-May or June. Special sessions can be called but are less frequent. Legislators in Texas, $7,200 per year, $221 a day. South Carolina legislatures have a base salary of $10,400, in-district expense stipend if this is approved. I mean, right now it's at the Supreme Court, I believe, here in South Carolina. So, in fact, they're not getting any stipend right now. But they get an $18,000 a year stipend. That's right. They're getting paid every month, whether they're in session or not, plus a 202 per diem plus mileage, which averages out for the average person that's in our South Carolina legislature around $50,000 to $55,000, depending on the session length and travel. That's getting up to being a full-time job, isn't it? Even though they only meet January through June. So we discussed that, and she said that that's something that needs to be discussed. One of the other things we discussed in that this morning was the fact was it right for the legislature to vote it in for themselves currently? Or should it have been waited, if it had been approved, should it have been waited until the next session to come up? I can tell you Pamela Evans said it should have waited till the next session. You don't go ahead and vote yourself a raise during the session. So that's just some of the things we talked about with the Lieutenant Governor for the great state of South Carolina, Pamela Evans. Yesterday afternoon, if you were listening, you know I talked to David Stumbo. He is all in to become the AG for the great state of South Carolina. Hope you'll go back and listen to that one. Give me your comments and like and share. And I really think that y'all all ought to start following me out there because I'm always doing little pop-up things, pop-up live videos for you to know about. All right. But anyways, that was a little bit of something that I think is important, and I hope you go back and listen to Pamela Evans' interview from this morning's show and David Stumbo from yesterday afternoon. Both important ones, so check that out. All right. Now, and by the way, not only are they on Facebook, WCRS 98.5 FM /1450 AM, they also are on our website, WCRS1450am.net. All right. So, 864-229-7984. If you want to call or text on the Legacy line, feel free. Feel free. Now, coming up tonight at Greenwood School District 50, they're going to host a coffee and connect session for parents tonight at 7. Oh, wait a minute. That was at 7:30 in the morning, Ann. All right, it's not 7:30 tonight. It was 7:30 this morning. Never mind, you missed it. Okay. Anyways, we are having a time here today because here's what we're doing. This is what we're doing. Whoops.
What's up with that? What's up with that? Ooh-wee. What's up with that? What's up with that? Ooh-wee. What's up with that? What's up with that?
That's right. What's up with that? That's right. What's up with that? Well, we got something else that is going on this evening. That's at the Greenwood Community Theater. And the Penguin Project is ready to rock and roll. And this is going to be a super show. Hope you'll get out and see it tonight at 7:30, Friday at 7:30, Saturday 2 o'clock, and Sunday 2 o'clock. If you really want to have your heart in a happy place, go to the Penguin Project. I think it's 101 Dalmatians, I think. Yes, that's what they're doing. So go out and enjoy that show. You will just be, and take the kids. It is terrific. Those penguins just do things a little differently, and we're so glad that we have that Penguin Project right here in Greenwood. So tonight is the first night. 7:30, Friday at 7:30 at night, Saturday 2 o'clock, Sunday at 2 o'clock. And on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, they are going to be having auditions for the best Christmas pageant ever. So anybody that would like to audition for that, go to greenwoodcommunitytheater.com auditions and check that out. So, I tell you, I got a lot of just cool information that I just thought would be fun to just put out here this afternoon, because so many times we get so busy and there's so much on social media that it's really hard to keep up with all the things that are going on. So I kind of feel like I'm in a WKRP mood here today.
Weather today in the greater Cincinnati area.
I love you so badly, I could.
They're solid plastic, so don't settle for imitation.
But the senator, while insisting he was not intoxicated, could not explain his nudity.
Baby, if you've ever wondered whatever became of me. I'm living on the air in Cincinnati, WKRP. Got kind of tired of packing and unpacking, town to town, up and down the dial. Maybe you and me were never meant to be. Just maybe think of me once in a while. I'm at WKRP in Cincinnati.
Ah, those were the day when we had real TV shows, right? Yes, Jennifer and, all the group just hamming it up and just giving you the example of a radio station. Yes, that's true. So this is just kind of a throwback of all the things that are going on in our community. So that's why I said,
What's up with that? What's up with that?
Ah, that's right. What's up with that? Well, what's up over in Clinton today? Main Street Clinton, in the middle of everything, they're having their third Thursday concert series. That is this evening. It says 5 p.m. Eat and shop. 7 to 9 is music, and the music is Smokey Jones and the $3 Pistols. Not familiar with that group, but anyways, should be fun, and it's a beautiful night to be out there. Beautiful night to be out there. And Football Frosted Coffee Friday. Have you heard about this through Chick-fil-A? Each Friday in September, we're giving away a frosted coffee delivery to one local business. To enter, just let us know your favorite NFL team in the comments. Include your company name. Share this post with your friends. One winner will be randomly selected and announced every Friday morning. Good luck. We can't wait to bring you a frosted coffee break to your team. So I've actually got that posted on the WCRS page. If you check that out, I shared that. Or just go to the Chick-fil-A Greenwood SC page and you will find it. But you can get a coffee break for all your team, I guess, from Chick-fil-A. So how about do that? That's for Friday morning. That's tomorrow morning. Now, there is one other thing that I don't think you probably know about. I didn't have any idea about it, but this is from the Audubon, South Carolina. And did you know? What's up with that? We're entering peak migration. Turn out non-essential lights from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. so millions of birds can safely pass through our state. Did you have any idea that that affected that? It says this is really important. So it says you can learn more about bird migration forecasting at Birdcast. I never knew this. But the birds, I guess, like it dark, and the light screws them up. So last night, on 9/15, 7,810,300 birds crossed South Carolina on the evening of 9/15. Do you believe that? Isn't that wild? I didn't think. Here's the other thing. I thought birds all nested at night. You know, they just slept in the trees. I didn't know these birds were migrating at night. I don't know what birds these are, but it certainly sounds like something we need to check out. But they're telling you to please turn out any non-essential lights from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. so millions of birds can safely pass through our state. I just found that phenomenal that there was something like this that was going on. Don't you think that? Have you ever heard of this? I've never heard of it. That's why we're doing this show here today, because we don't get to talk about all the useless information that I can provide for you right here today. So, whether you want a football frosted coffee from Chick-fil-A, or you want to know that 7,810,300 birds crossed South Carolina on 9/15. You're hearing about it right here on WCRS, right here in Greenwood. So just another one of my little helpful things to help you learn more about your community and your state. So there you go. Just thought I would help you out. Now, I do want to talk about this because the Greenwood Chamber is having their super networking and grape stomp all in one event on October 9th from 4:30 to 8. And so they're putting them together. They're going to be at the Greenwood Mall. So if you're a business and if you're part of the chamber, you certainly can be part of this event. They'll have plenty of room for all of them. And so this is a great way to showcase your brand at the 2-in-1 Lakeland's Business Expo plus Grape Stomp 2025. And so they'll have sponsorships, tables available. You can find out more by going to Expo Grape Stomp 25. Go through the chamber. You'll come across it and find out all about it. Now, it is a football theme, so they want you to get all footballed up, have your touchdowns, get in a huddle and make something happen for your business. We're actually going to be there, and we are going to be doing Facebook Live. We'll be doing interviews with businesses there, learning more about what that business has to offer, maybe any specials, any of those things that they have going on. So that's October 9th, so make sure you contact the chamber about this. It's 4:30 to 8 p.m., The Grape Stomp is from 5:30 to 7:30. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be wild. It's really thinking outside the box, and they're doing it all there at the mall. I think that's actually a terrific idea. Terrific idea for a location to do something. All right. Now, Penny's out. I'm alive. Have you heard about these adult deer clinics and hunts? I had not. It says this is for new, non-experienced hunters only. Come out and learn all the basics of deer hunting, followed by a mentored deer hunt to put your new skills to the test. And this is at the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. They're doing it on October 3rd, November 7th, November 22nd, and it's in Eastover, South Carolina. So I thought this was worthy talking about. It says you can, for any questions or information, you can email tayloram@dnr.sc.gov. But if you want to learn how to be a deer hunter, this is your opportunity to learn how to be a deer hunter. I don't think there's any cost for it. At least they're not saying there's any cost on this post. That's also on WCRS's Facebook page if you haven't seen it and you want to check it out. But if you've always wanted to know how to be a deer hunter and you're an adult, you can go check this out. And I guess it's a one-day, October 3rd. November 7th and November 22nd. November 22nd is when that is. So what do you think about that? There's another one of those things that I think qualifies for...
What's up with that? What's up with that? Ooh-wee. What's up with that? What's up with that? Ooh-wee.
Yeah, there you go. What's up with that? That's what I have to say. What's up with that? There's something that I've never heard about, but obviously something that is kind of cool. So check that out. Check that out. All right. One of the things that, Trey Gowdy always has some really good pithy comments, and I like this one. The law is limited. At some point, humanity has to kick in and supplement the void that the law leaves. Isn't that great? The law is limited. At some point, humanity has to kick in and supplement the void that the law leaves. So that's what he had to say about the recent acts of violence right here in the United States. Yesterday, what happened yesterday? Three officers in Pennsylvania were trying to serve a warrant, and they were killed. 2 others were injured. So this is something that just somehow we have got to figure out how to stop it. But that's just another topic, I guess, for another day. I did see something that I thought was most interesting, most different, most cool to check out. Is the Omni Grove Park Inn and Spa is celebrating the 100th year anniversary of The Great Gatsby in style. It says, put on your best roaring 20s attire, flapper dresses, suits, and all, and step into the world of Gatsby for an unforgettable evening. Enjoy live jazz from Queen Bee and the Honey Lovers and soak up the atmosphere of a true jazz age party. Featuring a full meal, unlimited cocktails. Don't miss this special tribute to F. Scott Fitzgerald's timeless classic. Reserve your spot and celebrate a century of Gatsby. It says alcoholic beverages and a full meal are entirely included with the price of admission. The Gin and Jazz Social will be held at the Country Club on Friday. This is, of course, up at the Omni Grove Park Inn and Spa. And so it's September 26, 6:30 to 9, and it is for those 21 and up. But if you wanted to make an unforgettable weekend, I think that could be an unforgettable flapper type style. I think they're going to have old cars there. They're not going to spare no expense to making it a truly exciting event, and it's called the Gin and Jazz Social. If you want to check it out on Eventbrite, Gin and Jazz Social, and that is in Asheville, North Carolina. I believe the tickets, I think I saw the tickets were like $160, and so for that type of evening, I think not bad. So I just wanted to give you that little piece of advice and hope that you'll check that out if you're looking to go someplace special and do something really, really different. As you can see, don't ever let anybody tell you there's nothing going on. There's nothing going on in Greenwood, because there is a lot going on. And coming up in 10 days, they're having the Fall Festival at Denver Downs Farm, voted one of the top pumpkin patches in the U.S. And what is that? Maybe 45 minutes from here, I think. It's right here in the upstate. 35 activities with one ticket price. Watch a pig race. That's big, really big. Go down a giant slide, get lost in a corn maze playing tribute to Lainey Wilson. Relax to live music by the bonfire and walk through a pumpkin lights trail. You know that fall is over too fast. Denver Downs is only open for fall from September 26th to November 9th. So mark your calendars and check out the denverdownsfarm.com/fall-festival. So, but so much to do. And I just thought maybe since I don't usually get to do this, that this would be a cool thing to do. And I've got more, but I got to have a little taste of my green tea here. If I can open it. Yes, I can. So, hope you've had a good day. Let's check the weather out, just so you know what's happening on the weather. Let's see, where's the weather here? Come on in, get the weather here. What is the weather? The weather is whatever the weather will be. I know it's hot out there. Whew, boy, it's hot. It is 85 degrees, feels like 87. What do we have right now? We are looking for a low tonight of 64. No real chance of any rain. Tomorrow on Friday, we're going to have another hot day, high of 88, low of 63, partly sunny skies. Saturday comes in with a high of 86, low of 63. And Sunday is a high of 85 and a low of 62. So staying in those mid-80s and low 60s at night, you really can't complain, except in the middle of the day it gets a little hot. So I hope you've enjoyed a little bit of this show here this afternoon. If you've been driving home and wondered, what's Ann going to talk about today? Well, that's what I'm talking about, because this is what's happening here today. I know, you guys think I'm crazy. No, we don't think, Ann. We know you're crazy.
What's up with that? 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 What's up with that?
Ah, that's right. There you go. What's up with that? We've got lots of things more to talk about. Do you go to Charleston? And do you know about climbing into a real Vietnam War helicopter with your kids, ready to learn something new? Climb into a real Huey from the Vietnam War time. You know, those are the ones that went whoop, 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 whoop. You could always tell that very specific noise that had to do with those Hueys during the Vietnam War. It says you can peek inside bunkers. You can walk through recreated Vietnam-era base. This isn't your average museum. This is a full-on, hands-on experience. The Vietnam exhibit at Patriots Point in Mount Pleasant is packed with immersive experiences that kids love. So, real helicopters, you can climb in them, river patrol boats and military trucks, observation towers and sound effects, 2.5 acres of kid-friendly history exploration, plus your ticket gets you into the USS Yorktown aircraft carrier, Medal of Honors Museum, and more. I'm actually thinking, need to make a trip down there and really enjoy the whole experience, but bring it to you on maybe Facebook Live and maybe get to interview some people down there. I think that would be a really cool experience. So I'm looking at making the trip down there to Mount Pleasant and checking this out. So if you are in Charleston looking for something cool and different to do, you need to check out the Vietnam exhibit at the Patriots Point in Mount Pleasant because they've got so much to do. And I thought that was really, really cool. Whew, I'm exhausted. I don't know. I'm just kind of exhausted here reading all this stuff to you. Did you know that coming up on Saturday, September 27th, that Chef Jay Hancock, is going to be doing a cooking class on how to do a delicious brunch. I'm going to tell you what, I would really like to take that class because I think that would be a blast. It's going to be out there at, is it at Piedmont Tech? Let's see, let's go there and check that out. Or maybe it's going to be, no, it's at the G. Frank Russell Career Center. It's a 3.5-hour program. So they're going to learn how to do brunch, learn how to perfect this comforting meal in a professional kitchen. So they'll be using the kitchen that the students use right there at the G. Frank Russell. It says students must register by 9/19. I understand they still have some space available, but this would be a great event to learn how to make delicious. I don't know what all they're going to have, but I guarantee it's going to be good and you'll get to enjoy it. What does it say? 2 more days to sign up for Chef Hancock's brunch class. You can go to ptc.edu/continuing and look for cooking brunch. Groups of 6 or more save 20% off the class costs. You can also call 864-941-8400. It starts, at 8:30? Is that what I said? 8:30 and is 3 hours. So if you can take this class, you got to bring me something. Let me know how good it is because I think it just sounds so terrific and so cool. I wish, like I said, I wish I could do that. Anyways, we're doing a What's Happening? What's up, Greenwood? What's up, Greenwood? All these people that say we don't have anything to do, you're not looking very far. You're not looking very far at all. So that was another event I wanted to make sure that you knew about because I think that would be really cool. That is coming up next Saturday, but you have to register really by tomorrow. So take advantage of the opportunity to be doing that. You'll be glad you did. So let's check out, maybe check out some other things that we have going. David Stumbo had a really good interview. We really concentrated. A lot of people know David Stumbo for what he's done since he's been our solicitor. A lot of people don't know that how David got even into the law. Did you know that originally he wanted to be a teacher? He thought he'd be a teacher and maybe a part-time coach and I think he said a history teacher. I always like to go back and learn a little bit about the individual because I think when we learn a little about the individual, then we get to understand more what they're about and what their motivation is. I do think David he is the only one that is a practicing solicitor. So I think that is important. And so I would really seriously, with all the candidates, we have a lot of candidates running for governor. We have a lot running for solicitor, for the AG. But David Stumbo is the only one that's been practicing as that for the past 13 years. So take a look, listen to what we talked about. He answered some good questions for me. So please check that out. Now, back to, what time is it? Do you realize that an hour has almost gone by and I've been talking straight? No wonder they call me the voice of Greenwood, right? Anyways, All right, they're having a spirit night by one of my favorite schools. Benjamin Mays Elementary School is having a spirit night at Dairy Queen next Friday, September 26th from 5 to 10 p.m. Please remember to let the cashier know you are there for the Mays Elementary School. Mays will receive 15% of all net sales if told it's for Mays Elementary. So it's another one of those win-win situations. You want to go out and have something to eat? That's great. Why not go to Dairy Queen and enjoy some good fan food and support Benjamin Mays and some of their projects that they do over there. So that is another great one going on. All right. Has anybody heard about what's going in O'Charlie's? Has anybody heard what's going in O'Charlie's? You know, there has been some activity, and all the spies here in Greenwood are checking it out. I understand through reading all the comments that Ernesto's is going to have his own place, and he's taking over the old Charlie's. What an undertaking. Of course, it is another Mexican restaurant, but everybody likes Ernesto, so that's a good thing. So they are working on that. I think the comment that I thought that was most credible was the guy that was putting in the cable said he put it in Ernesto's name, so that's why he thinks it's going to be Ernesto's. I'm not sure what they're going to call it. I think they have a different name, but it is going to be Ernesto that is going to be doing that. So, anyways, that's another one that is finally. I would have thought O'Charlie's would have been an easy restaurant to have put something different in there, but maybe that is what's going in there, and if that is, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So, just thought I'd share that with you. Also, the McCormick Gold Rush Festival is this weekend on Saturday. It says bring the whole family to enjoy a parade through downtown, live music, food and craft vendors, and so much more. So that's the McCormick Gold Rush Festival. If you'd like to go to that, that is going on Saturday. Let's see, do they have a schedule here? September 20th, yes. Gold Rush Parade on Main Street begins at 10 a.m. and they usually have old cars, new cars, all this kind of stuff going on. Then they have entertainment and vendors at Matt Hardy Field from 11 to 5. And so this is the 45th McCormick Gold Rush Festival this Saturday, September 20th. And so that's a cool event. I've been to that before, and it's family friendly, and it's going to be hot. So get out there and enjoy it and have a good time. So that is the McCormick Gold Rush this Saturday, a moment in time. Well, isn't that the truth? A moment in time. All right. I'm telling you, there is a ton of stuff going on. And Clemson plays at, the pregame starts at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. So we're not going to have a show this Saturday either. Maybe next Saturday. I wish I knew what time they were playing, because if they were going to play early, I'd sure see about signing up for the brunch deal at G. Frank Russell. Oh, my goodness. Did you know that B.B. King was born 100 years ago on 9/16/25? B.B. King. What a great musician. What a great amount of talent. What he brought to the blues and everything. Pretty darn amazing. So, that's a few of the things that I know that's going on. I know there is a lot more. I did want to tell you about this, though, because this is important to remember. You know, how many years ago has it been since the school that's now the Eleanor S. Rice Elementary, what was that, used to be Oakland, I believe, has a memorial garden over there. And it says, join us in acknowledging survivors, victims, families, and all affected by the 1988 Oakland Elementary School senseless act of violence that took the lives of 8-year-olds Shaquilla Bradley and Tequila Thomas, and left 9 others injured. A community volunteer workday is planned for Saturday, September 27th at 8 a.m. at the Eleanor S. Rice Elementary, formerly Oakland Elementary School, to enhance the 1988 Oakland Elementary School Memorial Gardens. You know, I was here in Greenwood. In fact, we were right up we were at Burton Plaza at that time, so we were right up the road when that happened from that. And I can remember talking to Jim Bohannon, my friend Jim Bohannon, who was a night show host right here on WCRS. He was a national radio talk show host, had the Jim Bohannon show on WCRS and many other venues. He actually took over from Larry King when Larry King retired. But I can remember we were talking about Columbine, and he was talking about it was one of the first, and actually I wasn't talking, I was listening. So I texted him and I said, I think that 1988 Greenwood was the first school shooting that was in recent times. And he looked it up and he goes, Ann, you're absolutely right. And that was right here in Greenwood, South Carolina. You know, some of the people that survived that and have gone on, but a lot of the children that were in that school, they've all grown, of course, all grown up. That was in 1988 and it was an elementary school. But a lot of those That's right. If you are listening on the radio, you know, we just heard it's 6 o'clock in the great city of Greenwood, South Carolina. If you're on Facebook Live, you probably wonder why I halted and didn't say anything. That's because it's 6 o'clock and those on the radio are listening to WCRS right here in Greenwood, South Carolina. But, you know, a lot of the adults that grew up, the children that grew into adults, suffered a lot of trauma, PTSD, and they are still bothered by that. So with support from the Keep Greenwood County Beautiful and Palmetto Pride grant, as well as a generous donation from New Spring Church in Greenwood, members of the 1988 Oakland Elementary Support Group plan to enhance the entire memorial garden and donate rock painting supplies to Eleanor S. Rice Elementary, deepening the garden's impact by reconnecting the school and the community, fostering a lasting awareness that kindness matters, and serve as a heartfelt reminder to the community that these children and all those impacted by the tragedy will always be remembered. It says, bring a chair, a snack, a bottle of water, a creative mind, and a shovel if you'd like to help with manual work. Rock painting supplies will be provided to paint a rock with an inspirational message, quote, or artwork to add to the garden. I think this is so therapeutic and such a good thing to do. I hope that you will consider doing that next Saturday morning, September 27th at 8 a.m. At 8 a.m. They're going to be working on it. And to all that have contributed to this, what a great thing. The thing about it is, life goes on, and here we are in 2025, and we're looking at the killings of Charlie Kirk and police officers, first responders, over and over and over again, and yet this has been going on since 1988. Now, I will say that things were much more isolated back in the mid-'80s or 1980s, and things certainly are ramping up. We have got to pull back our country. We have got to get back to the humanity of our country. It's not whether this one's right or that one's right. We are all humans, and we must start to think like we are humans and have compassion and caring for all of us humans. When you think back to the number of children that were at that school and how they've all grown up and how they've had to deal with all the scars and the PTSD that caused them to deal with some of this, it's amazing that most of them turned out okay, but they still have things that they deal with. So I hope you will go and attend that. I know that's also the day that the Latin Festival is going on, but I would like to think that maybe you'd get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and go over there and start your morning with a little remembrance and meditation and prayer for our country, but also for the kids that grew up from that class, from those classes, the elementary school, back on September 26, 1988. I'm Ann Eller. This is WCRS Radio. I hope you've enjoyed my little show here this afternoon on. Here we go.
What's up with that? What's up with that? Ooh-wee. What's up with that? What's up with that? Ooh-wee. What's up with that? What's up with that?
Oh, yeah, what's up with that? What's up with that? There's a lot going on. I just thought this is what I'm going to do. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make a comment on our Facebook page and let me know that you were listening or you were enjoying it or you were having a good time with it or you appreciated it. Something. Let me know something, please. So I can see if I want to do this again or if this was just stupid. Anyways, I'm Ann Eller. This is WCRS. Yes, I'm the stupid one, but I have a good time doing what I do, and I hope you did enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in this afternoon. That's going to do it for me. We're going to close it out with WKRP in Cincinnati. Take it away, guys.
Weather today in the greater Cincinnati area.
I love you so badly, I could.
They're solid plastic, so don't settle for imitation.
But the senator, while insisting he was not intoxicated, could not explain his nudity.
Baby, if you've ever wondered whatever became of me. I'm living on the air in Cincinnati, WKR.